Good morning, students. I hope you all are very well. Today we started our chapter tissue. In this lecture, we cover introduction of tissue, meristematic tissue, features of meristematic tissue, classification of meristematic tissue on the basis of origin, primary promeristem, secondary meristem tissue, and classification of meristematic tissue on the basis of location and some introduction about permanent tissue. Okay, so here we go now. As you see in your slide, there is meristematic tissue. Okay, so if you talk about the tissue, tissue is a group of cells that are similar in structure and work together to achieve a particular function. Means most of the tissue in plant are supportive, which provide them with structural strength. Means these are dead cells and they have work to be care to provide mechanical strength of the plants, and it need less maintenance. Okay, so plant tissue are of two types. First one is meristematic and second one is permanent tissue. If you talk about meristematic tissue, these are the simple living tissue having thin-walled compactly arranged immature cells which are capable of division and formation of new cells. Okay, means meristematic tissue have a capability to be division, then that is the reason of new growth of in plant. If you talk about feature of meristematic tissue, first one is the in meristematic tissue thin primary cell wall cellulosic is present. Second one, intercellular space are absent, means there is compact tissue. Third one is generally vacuole are absent. They have dense cytoplasm and prominent nuclei are present. Next one is large number of cell organelles are present over there. They have active metabolic state, that's why the storage food is absent in meristematic tissue. Actively during dividing cells are present in growing region of plant, like an example root and shoot of the tip. Okay, so this is all about meristematic tissue. It location it's present in root and shoot tips. Secondly, it have active metabolic state, that's why stored food is absent. Next one is large number of cell organelles are present, and generally vacuole are absent, and they have dense cytoplasm, nuclei are prominent, intercellular are absent, that's why they have compact tissue, and their cell wall is cellulosic. Okay, now if we classified meristematic tissue on the basis of origin, we divided it into two parts: primary meristematic tissue and secondary meristematic tissue. Primary meristematic tissue is promeristem, it derived directly from the meristem of embryo, and second one is they consist of cells derived from primary meristem, means it is responsible. Primary meristem, promeristem is the primary growth of plant, so it is all about primary. Now secondary meristematic features and tissue is it is formed by permanent tissue, and these are having cells derived from permanent tissue. As we said, primary meristem tissue are derived from meristem of embryo, but in secondary meristem tissue it is derived from permanent tissue. Okay, means they in secondary meristematic tissue they add to diameter of a plant. Okay, now next, classification of meristematic tissue on the basis of location. So on the basis of location, meristematic tissue is divided into three ways: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. So apical meristem is it is present at the growing tips of stems and roots. Second one is cell division in this tissue lead to the elongation of stem and roots, and thus it is involved in primary growth of plant. Okay, so it is apical meristem. Okay, second one is intercalary meristem. It is present behind the apex, means it is left behind during the growth period because there is apical meristem working over there, and these are present at the base of leaf and internode region. Okay, these lead to increase in the length of leaf primary, example in grass stem, bamboo stem, or mint stem. Last one is lateral meristem. It is also called as secondary meristem, means it is a longitudinal axis of plant, and it gives rise to vascular tissue which help plant to be get food and water. It causes growth in stem and roots, and they are usually responsible for the secondary growth. Now, permanent tissue. The permanent tissue are composed of those cells which have lost their capability to divide. As we said that meristematic tissue have a capability to be divided. In permanent tissue, their capability of division is stopped. They do not have capability to divide. So they have definite shape, size and thickness, and they are basically dead or living cells. Permanent tissue are dead and living, and the division and differentiation of the cell of meristematic tissue give rise to permanent tissue. Means in cell differentiation, organs change from simple to more complex, and it is become specialized for the specific function. Okay, so the cell of permanent tissue lose the capacity to divide and attain a permanent shape and function. Means permanent tissue are classified into two types on the basis of structure and composition. First one is simple permanent tissue, and second one is complex permanent tissue. Okay, here we talk about permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue is done with us. Okay, we done that their location on the basis of their origin, and on the basis of their location. And in permanent tissue, we divide permanent tissue in two forms: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So simple permanent tissue, what is simple permanent tissue? These are made up of same type of cells, and they are similar in structure and function. Okay, they include two type of tissue: protective tissue and supporting tissue. Protecting tissue are these tissue which are primarily protective in function. Means they consist of epidermis and cork. Epidermis, like in your skin there is epidermis cells which protect you from external environment. Okay, so epidermis in plant form one cell thick outermost layer of various body organ of plant, such as leaves, flowers, stems and roots. Epidermis is covered outside by cuticle, and cuticle is waterproof layer of waxy substance which is called cutin, which is secreted by epidermal cell. So cells of epidermis of leaves are not continuous at same place due to the presence of small pores called as stomata. Each stomata is guarded by a pair of bean-shaped cells called as guard cell, and these are only the epidermal cell which possess chloroplast. Rest of the plant have colorless. Okay, so it is all about features of epidermis, how it is secrete cutin, and how they are working. Okay, now if you talk about function of epidermis, so the main function of epidermis is to protect the plant from infection, and cuticle of epidermis cuts the rate of transpiration and evaporation of water and prevent wilting. If you talk about cork, in older roots of stem tissue at the periphery become cork cells or phloem cells. Cork is made to dead cell with thick wall and do not have any intercellular space. Means they do not have any intercellular space. And the cell wall in cork deposit waxy substance. We call it suberin. Please note it down. The cell walls in cork deposit waxy substance. That waxy substance is called suberin. S-U-B-E-R-I-N. Suberin. Okay. So cork become impermeable to water and gases due to the deposition of suberin. So the cork cells are without any protoplasm but are filled with resin and tannin. यानी आप लोग जो वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट जो गम वगैरह टेनिन वगैरह से निकलता है प्लांट में से, वो प्लांट के कॉक में से निकलता है, और ये इस वजह से होता है क्योंकि इसमें आपको डिपोजिशन किसी भी सबिन का डिपोजिशन होता है जिसके उसमें वाटर और गैस का कोई भी इम्परमेबल फॉर्म नहीं दिखाई देता. ठीक है, मतलब ये इम्परमेबल होता है वाटर एंड गैसेस के लिए, इस वजह से इसमें सबिन का डिपोजिशन देखने के लिए मिलता है. सो दिस इज अबाउट कॉर्क, and cork is protective in function. If you talk about functioning, cork is protective in function, and cork cells prevent from mechanical injury. Okay, cork is used for insulation as shock absorber in linoleum, and cork is also used to be making just like commercially valuable as it is ionable. Okay, it is cork is used in the making of variety of sports goods such as cricket ball, table tennis ball, wooden paddles, etc. So second one is supporting tissue. Supporting tissue, these are supportive in function, and these are three type of supporting tissue: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. This one is parenchyma, which is supportive tissue in plant. It is the functional tissue. It's the fundamental tissue. It evolved from bryophytes. It is spherical in structure. It is composed of cellulose and pectin. Large central vacuole for food and water storage over there. Okay, and some parenchyma involved in excretory substance storage, or also called ideoblast. Okay, ideoblast, the storing such as resin, tannin, gums, oils. Okay, so parenchyma chlorophyll is absent, means in typical parenchyma chlorophyll is always absent. Chloroplasts containing parenchyma tissue are chlorochyma, which perform photosynthesis such as mesophyll of the leaves. And parenchyma provide turgidity to cells. There is cytoplasm, there is intercellular space in parenchyma, there is thin cell wall, there is prominent nucleus is over there. Next one is collenchyma. These are collenchyma tissue. It is living mechanical tissue. Second one, it has thick corners, localized cellulose and pectin thickening, and it provides flexibility to the plant to be easily bending or various part of the plant, means moving of plant is due to the collenchyma tissue over there. It is present only in herbaceous dicot stem. Few chloroplasts may be present, give mechanical strength in elasticity to the growing stem. It is sclerenchyma now. It is composed of extremely thick walled cell with little or no protoplasm. Cells are dead, possess very thick lignified walls, and lignin is waterproof material. Intercellular space are absent. Cell of sclerenchyma are of two types, sclerate and fibers. Means sclerate are stone cells. These are small cells, and it is as present in drupe plants like in mango, coconut, walnut. And second one is fibers. They are very long, narrow, thick lignified cells. They are generally 1 to 3 millimeter long. Sclerenchyma fiber are used to be manufacture of ropes and textile fibers. Okay, so this is all about parenchyma and sclerenchyma. Okay, in our next video we just describe there about some differentiation between parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. You have to be studied that. If you have any query, please clear your doubts, your query in Zoom class. Okay, thank you, students.